Hello, this is the Hajime no Ippo podcast, and this is your host, Jacob. We will be discussing chapter 1313, and today we have a special host from the Reddit, Aprilsamurai. Aprilsamurai, will you introduce yourself?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you for having me on the podcast, Jacob. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. It's an honor to have someone that's interested in just talking about Hajime no Ippo. So, before we start off and talking about chapter 1313, do you want to just share your experience with Hajime no Ippo and how did you get started and when did you become a fan and all that? Favorite fights? Anything?
Sure. So I got, it's actually a little bit of a funny story how I got into Hajime no Ippo. So I was actually on YouTube and I was watching like top 10 like best anime fights and everything. And I stumbled across a Watch Mojo video. I know it's Watch Mojo, but I stumbled across like one of the most brutal anime fights. And in that fight, I didn't know at the time, but it showed Ippo versus Sendo won. And it was after Sendo had it was after he had got knocked unconscious by Ippo, where he started wailing on him, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, is that guy gonna die?" I gotta find out. So I read the comments, and they told me that it was Hajime no Ippo, and I started watching it every day. I was in high school at the time. I was a junior, and I just started watching it every day with my younger brother, and then I started reading it, and I was like, "Yo, I just got into it from there." Favorite fights to this day, probably one of my favorite fights to watch and read is Ippo versus Sendo too.
Yeah. No, that's one of my top favorite fights too. But I'm also partial to the two Takamura title matches that were seen in the anime.
Right.
Those really
Yeah.
hit the feels, especially the first one versus Hawk. That
Oh
scene,
yes.
that scene where he's like he's about to pass out and fall down, but then you see the spirit of all his gym mates pushing him
Hmm.
towards that. Oh, that was. If anything, I think Hajime no Ippo in just brutal fights has made me cry
Hmm.
more in emotion
Wow.
because you can't. You just like the Date fight versus who we're gonna talk about later on, Martinez.
Right. Hmm.
He got I was rooting for him. I was rooting for him, winning, and then he gets crushed and destroyed, and it
I
just
know. I
hurts.
really wanted. I wanted that heartbreak shot to. I wanted him to knock him out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Ippo's first loss versus Date as well was
Hmm.
also I was
Caught,
like
yeah.
it's like no
It caught,
Ippo, you got him. He's almost there. You're
it's like stop doubting yourself. It's like I know
yeah.
he was using those mind tricks, man. But like Date he was feeling that power, man. He's like, oh man, this kid, like my arm's hurting, just blocking his shit. Like, oh man.
But yeah, those are some of the great things. And then I think we just talked about anime, but like is there any part of the manga that you've been like any fight that like really stood out to you or any of that?
Yes. One fight that stood out to me in the manga, actually, I really enjoyed. Is it Volg or is it Vorg?
I've always said Volg, but
Yeah, me too.
people are going to correct me anyway, so we'll see. We'll just pronounce it how you pronounce it.
Okay, so I enjoyed Volg's fight against Elliot in the manga, especially because he didn't have much prep time and how well he ended up doing eventually. And once he got into the rhythm and everything, I enjoyed that, and I also liked Takamura versus Bison.
Yeah, I really got to read the Bison fight because everybody on the Reddit like loves the Bison fight. And
Yeah.
I keep forgetting it. I remember, but because I got to do a whole start from the beginning reread soon.
Oh yeah, me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
But I think that Elliot versus Log fight, I also enjoyed. I enjoyed because it was different. It was a chess match.
Hmm. Right. Right.
You don't get much chess matches with Morikawa's writing, so it was interesting. And I was
Hmm.
leading on. I was hoping that the Billy McCullum versus Martinez fight was going to be a chess match. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like that. Doesn't seem like that, but we're holding on. But yeah, so we do have a lot of great things. How is your feelings about Mishiba? I'm probably
Okay, so so at first I absolutely hated him. I was like, why is he such an asshole? But then when I saw his story with his little sister, and I see, okay, this is why he is the way he is. I mean, it's a little bit exaggerated, but I understand where he's coming from, being an older brother. So eventually I started liking him more. Like the more he fought more people, and it started humanizing him in a way. And I actually kind of like his interactions with Ippo now. Well, maybe not now that he thinks Ippo's all weak and shit now because of his retirement. But I like his interactions leading up to that.
Yeah, for sure. His recent fight, who was it with? That guy who's now
Oh,
Aoki's like
Iga.
Iga. Yeah, Iga. That fight I liked because it was all about like
Mm-hmm.
bringing up his past and saying like,
Right,
"Oh, you have this one weakness" and all that. And like
right.
Iga was just like constantly bringing up all the his like failures, yeah,
Yeah, against Ippo, against Kimura. Yeah.
Yeah, and and he was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, don't like put box me in. I am better than that, and I'm ready for the world." And just knocks him out. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He fixed a lot of his weaknesses. I was like,
yeah,
oh yeah, I like that. He hit the uppercut. I was like, Mishima does uppercuts? What?
yeah, and it's and it's like, what? Oh my goodness! Like, it's like Morikawa was like building up all the characters we know to go to the world.
Right, right.
And we're just waiting. It's like, Ippo, you got to do this now. Come on, all the people you fought before are like ready. Like, just fix your mentality. But it's like, whatever. How are you liking the trainer arc, sort of, which the Reddit has titled like him becoming a trainer coach?
Right. Okay, so the trainer arc, excuse me. I like it from the standpoint of it needed to happen. Now, personally, I feel like it could have happened a little bit earlier in the story. I do feel like maybe after um I don't know if maybe after Ippo lost to Gonzalez, should it have happened? But um, I don't know. I definitely just think that the whole Guevara fight and everything just some of it rubs me the wrong way. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that at a different time. But either way, I like that Ippo is going back to the basics. I like that he's training up his disciples. I like that he's learning new things and applying them. I really liked that spar. And this might be I think a lot of the subreddit might agree with me, but I liked the spar with Ippo and Sendo versus more than the fight with him and Gonzalez because it one showed us more of what Ippo's capable of now, and it got Sendo fired all the way up.
For sure, for sure. We can touch on the Sendo versus Gonzalez fight after our
Okay,
recap of the chapter because I think it
gotcha.
connects. It connects, and I do want
It
to.
does, yeah.
Yeah, I want to get your opinions on it, but do want to wait for that because I'm like on both sides. I've been since the fight ended. I've been on the Reddit and I've been reading pros and cons against that fight,
Yeah,
and then
me
like
too.
I'm flip flopping all the time because at one
Yep.
point it's like, yeah, they're right. Sendo kind of just face tanked that, and then other times I'm like, no, there's a strategy to it, and maybe that's
Yeah,
the only way he
like
can
he
win.
might have calculated that,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
don't want to accept it.
But then at the same time, I'm like, Sendo's not a calculating person. What am I trying to say here? So
But
it's a
at the same time, though, at the same time, he has shown that he does have some sort of aptitude for it. Because I remember when, not way back when, but when he was talking to Miyata about Miyata's style and why he's such a problem for counter punchers. That was quite a bit of introspectiveness from Sendo himself that even Miyata's dad agreed with.
yeah, that is true. That is true. Like, and I'm not sure if it's just like once he uses his brain outside of the ring and during
Mhm.
sparring is when he really uses his boxing IQ. But
Right.
when in the ring, he just brings out his tiger instincts and all that.
Yeah. That's
Maybe
what it seems like to me.
that's
Yeah.
what it seems like. Yeah, for sure. Like the bloodlust just becomes unbearable because if you remember Sendo in his short Japanese title bouts, he was really
Mhm.
becoming a villain in that.
Yeah. He was. He was.
He was like sort of. He was like, I was like, oh wait, so Sendo's a villain now after like that first fight where he just totally wrecked that guy's career and then he ruined Vlog's career and it's not his
Oh
fault.
yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
his fault.
it's not his fault. The judges definitely were biased because they were in Japan, but it's not exactly Sendo's fault. But yeah, he definitely should have not won that. But still,
Yeah. And like
but,
having some recognition of like, yeah, I kind of lost that, but then at the same time, as champion, you can't do that. You gotta just be like, I gotta put tough guy champion facade on.
Yeah.
So there's that. So moving on, but great discussions for sure. Moving on, we
Mhm.
are. I just want to share some news to the listeners. So Hajime no Ippo does have some major news. Discotheque in 2021 will be releasing season 1, all 75 episodes plus the Mishiba OVA on Blu-ray with English and Spanish dubs. So very big news. This is a
Yes,
chance
wonderful
for
news.
yeah, very big chance for us, the Western audience of Hajime no Ippo, to buy up all the Blu-rays, show
Hmm.
show this Western publisher who's licensing out Hajime no Ippo that there is
Hmm.
interest. Hopefully, maybe that'll be a licensing deal for a Netflix, streaming all the episodes on Netflix or Crunchyroll, and then all those viewerships go up, and then hopefully season 4. Cross fingers. What's your opinion on this?
I actually can't wait to buy them. Well, first of all, one, I want to buy them for my own personal collection because I love Ippo. Two, I would like to because are they upscaling them or no?
I think there might be some upscale, but then again, it's a 90s anime, so I'm not sure how much you can.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. But still, if I could have a definitive way to watch the original 75 episodes that just hooked me into the anime, that would be great. And I hope, and this might be a little far off, but I do hope that if a lot of the Western audience buys it and then they see that there's still potential and there's still money in this anime and manga, then hopefully it could eventually possibly lead to another season being greenlit. But hopefully get a good studio with that. But yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be nice to see.
like
But
I
if
have.
not, I'll just keep reading.
Yeah, for sure. Same. Like I will keep reading. And I'm like hoping, even if it's just maybe a English translation of the manga in like some very fancy hardcover books that cost like hundreds of dollars. I'm okay with that as well in English
Right.
if they translate it, because if you ever seen the Berserk hardcovers, those look gorgeous.
They do. Oh man, Berserk is a whole nother manga that I love. Love.
Yeah. There's that, and then anime wise, there could be a season 4. Baki got a new season on
True.
Netflix.
True.
Even
Very
though
true.
hopefully it's not that studio, I don't like 3D. It should be 2D animation or just have the regular aesthetic. I can't stand
Yeah.
the 3D stuff.
Oh, you don't like the CGI?
CGI. I'm not like, it has to be done well, but like the companies Netflix hires sometimes
Yeah.
they
It's like how did you feel about did you watch any of was it Kengan Ashura? The CGI with that on Netflix?
no, I haven't seen that. I'll
It's
go.
like, I watched a little bit of it. I ain't gonna lie, low key it turned me off. I'm reading the manga for it, but like yeah, the CGI low key did turn me off.
Yeah, because also like the Baki CGI doesn't look that bad, and also I'm not a fan of the Baki art style. It's just too muscular for me. But
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
still, it's still a series I want to get interested in after seeing all this mixed martial arts stuff that I'm interested in from Ippo. So different style, but
Please, please do watch the original '90s Baka the Grappler and then the second season. I want to say it's not as super muscular and as bad as the Netflix original, but the original Baki that you can go from there and then read the manga and then it's good. It's good.
no, yeah, for sure. I think one of the ways I really get into a lot of animes and mangas is through like YouTubers and then like them
Yeah.
recommending. That's how I got into
True.
Hajime no Ippo with the Super Eye
Fair enough.
Patch Wolf video.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Follow them too.
Yeah, yeah. His video really got me. I think it started with like his Yu Yu Hakusho one, where I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I really love this series. Let me see what he has to say about it. And then I was like, oh, what are the other animes he really loves? And then like that got me to watch Hunter x Hunter for the first time, and then
True.
that got me to watch
Mhm.
Hajime no Ippo and start this whole obsession. But yeah, no,
I feel that.
yeah. I'm like, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I was gonna go to Japan and I was gonna stop at Morikawa's gym and see if I can buy some merch or something from the gym.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but
That's dope. I actually wanted to do that too.
yeah, that is one of my big things. And then I couldn't wait, and I also bought two like figures from some guy in Japan, and now I'm just waiting for them to be shipped here. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so
Were they
it's
super expensive because they had to like go through like customs and stuff, or?
they were like some of the cheap figures that like came in with one of the books with one of the
Oh,
mangas. So it was
okay.
like still it was like $100 or something like that.
Damn.
I
Damn.
know, I know, I know. It was a lot, but like whatever. It's like
Hey, I
why
feel you, man. Why not? It's like, why not?
it's like why like I want to show my Hajime no Ippo love. And
Hmm.
if also someone posted on the Reddit that like they're having a Everlast promotion with Hajime no Ippo and in Japan, and if you
Oh,
want
really?
some, yeah, they have shirts for like $25, and then like
Not bad.
actual like sweat jackets like that are like for a lot more, for like 100, like 200 or something like that. But
I might have to cop that.
yeah,
I would love to get some stuff. I can walk around here with people like, hey, what's that? And then I just put them on to the gospel of evil.
yeah, for sure. That's what I love. Like I love when the Uniqlo shirts came out. I was
Hmm.
like first day bought all of them, and I was like I
Gotcha.
gotta have them. um but yeah, it's interesting for merch and stuff. It's very dry, and I'm always
Right.
trying to find something um to buy it. Like I went to a random store once and just bought, I think, one of the mangas, like the most recent one at the time, which
Okay.
I kind of regret because it was the Guevara fight. And so
Oh, rip your pockets. God
yeah,
damn.
because
Imagine.
I was like, I'm buying it. It's iconic, but at the same time, I'm skimming through it in Japanese, and I'm like, this is the fight where it
Yeah.
all ends for him.
I just think of that one image with him taking the freaking counter.
And it's like, oh no, why, Hippo? Be smarter.
Yeah.
It's like
Uh,
you can't be losing to chumps like this. But
honestly.
honestly, all
Yeah,
right,
but it is what it is.
it is what it
But
is.
the recent chapter, chapter 1313. What are your thoughts? Let me hear it.
All right, what are my thoughts? I'm a little disappointed, but I'm still a little excited. I was thinking that this was gonna be like a total chess match, but this is more
Hmm.
going into Martinez's, character development of him
All
wanting
right.
to, you know, experience what Sendo experiences every day, putting fire into the ring, giving the audiences what they truly love, showing his machismo.
Right.
I'm liking that. I'm liking that. I wish, slowly. I'm not sure what you're feeling, but I was like hyping up Billy McCullum, and now he's kind of becoming a little. He's being smart about it, but he's kind of being chumpish too, in my opinion, because he's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's getting scared. He's not trying to throw those punches. Like he hits with the counter at the beginning. That
Right.
counter hits, and then he goes with a bunch of his lefts, which great,
Hmm.
respectable. Then he's gonna go for his right. He's like, I'm not gonna go for the right that early, but he says, no, fuck it, I'm gonna go it. And then last moment retreats back, and I'm like, dude, you got Martinez might not even counter it the first time. You got to hit him with that right. This is like your only chance. And now,
Right. Right. And when I saw him step back, I'm like, okay, either and it might still happen. I'm like, either Martinez is about to do some wild shit, or it's like, come on, both of them are champions. If I'm not correct, Billy is the champion of the WBC, right? Or is
yeah, but
yeah, he's
he had to relinquish his
right. He
title.
relinquished it, yeah, so he could fight Ricardo. But like, it's like obviously you fought against many people to get up to the top where you're at, just like Ricardo. I mean, did they show Billy's record yet or no?
I don't know.
Okay, so I can assume that I want to say he's had at least half the fights that Ricardo has had, and he's at the top of his. He was at the top of his particular belt, and I'm like, I feel like there's got to be more. There's got to be more to it. It's like they talked about they harped on the Philly shell so much. It's just got to be more than what they're showing. It's like I don't think Billy's scared, but like I feel like Martinez with that overwhelming pressure is already pulling them into his rhythm, and it's crazy because they that if I'm not correct I opened it up right here, that last page where they showed Billy's arm throbbing. It's like Martinez just pelting them with they may be like they may not be power punches, but they're like definitely starting to take effect. It's like, Billy, you already gonna lose one of your arms before you even like fight Martinez. Like, what are you doing? It's like, how did you even get this good? It's like, is everybody in the WBC a chump?
Yeah, that's for sure. Like that's what I'm feeling too. Like if you're gonna put someone else from a different division, you're either gonna say that that division's chump like, and then Martinez's division's the only god tier one that no even the good fighters aren't gonna join in because he's too god tier,
Right.
or that he's actually gonna put some fight into it. And yeah, his arm in that one chapter where I was that one page where you were talking about, yeah, you're
Mhm.
seeing it, and I love that image of like you're already seeing it like crumbling up. So he's gotta, and I think the last page he's actually gonna throw it for
Yeah.
sure. So
Yeah, it's like I feel like he definitely wants to throw the right, but I don't know what I just don't know what Martinez will do. Because it's like it seems like all of them fights that Martinez had, they showed him like they end quickly, but they never really went into detail like of like how Ricardo like deals with certain things. So it's like I would like to see that. Hopefully, I would like to see that within this fight.
yeah, for sure. I think that's the problem where I think that what Morikawa was trying to bring out is that Billy McCollum being such a smart fighter, and I think I mentioned this in the first episode in the first
Mhm.
issue where they mentioned the Philly shell and the Philly clam, was that
Right.
this was going to be like the Mayweather sort of parallel.
I see. I see. Yeah.
So
I
I
don't
mean,
remember making that comment. Yeah.
yeah, Mayweather's he's a great boxer and he's very technical and he'll win on points.
Right. That's true. That's
That's
true.
true.
That's
Yeah.
true. Very defensive. Yeah.
Yeah, very defensive. So this might be what Morikawa thinks about like boxers who overthink, and
Mhm.
because he was too cautious at that one moment instead of throwing his right, and he felt that like because he even said afterwards like I backed away, but there's no way that Martinez can Alfredo can like detect a counter on the first time because he doesn't know my rhythm or anything. So
Right. He should have just threw it, but like I said, at the same time, these are high level people, so it's like they might be fighting in their mind before they even start fighting. But it's like I just feel like that's not really being communicated. Like you were saying, you were hoping it was going to be a chess fight. I also was hoping it was going to be like a chessman fight. But it right now it's not that.
yeah. And it's still the first round, so
True. That's true. That's true.
yeah, yeah. So it's like a lot of things have happened in just for first roundness. So like we'll see.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I'm hoping it lasts like at least a couple more rounds, so we can all see maybe end game.
Right.
Gonzalez like how he mentioned like goes mid round and stuff like that. Like Date got him to like round 4, round 5, and
Right.
he wasn't even tired or anything, right? So
Yeah.
we can